cannot believe this. $50 for this service, and it doesn't even work in my own front yard. I want a refund now.
Imagine living in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind of place where everyone knows each other. The lawns are perfectly manicured, and life seems peaceful. Maybe too peaceful. You could go weeks without a single dramatic moment, until one day, something completely ordinary happens. Something that seems small, harmless, and trivial, something like changing your Wi-Fi password. Asterisk, for most people, this is just a part of life. It happens all the time. Sometimes the network acts up, sometimes devices disconnect, or someone in the house forgets the old password. The solution is simple. Update the network, set a new password, and everything works again. End of story. Asterisk, but in my neighborhood, this ordinary action sparked chaos. One person decided it was unacceptable. One person took offense, and that person called 911. Yes, the police were summoned because I dared to change my Wi-Fi. Asterisk, it all started with a minor inconvenience. My internet connection had been slow for a while. Streaming was choppy, devices randomly disconnected, and working from home had become frustrating. I considered calling my internet provider, but I decided to take matters into my own hands. I changed my Wi-Fi password. A simple step that fixed the problem instantly. Asterisk, I had no idea this would trigger what could only be described as a suburban meltdown. Asterisk, the person at the center of it was a member of the homeowners association. Someone everyone refers to privately as Karen. You've probably heard the term before. Karen is the type of person who notices everything, who believes rules are absolute, and who assumes she has the authority to enforce them. In her eyes, minor things like a lawn slightly out of code, a mailbox paint job she dislikes, or a Wi-Fi change in a private home are serious offenses. Asterisk, within hours of changing my password, Karen confronted me. She wasn't just annoyed, she was furious. According to her, I had disrupted the entire neighborhood network. Devices weren't connecting, streaming was failing, people were inconvenienced. I tried to explain calmly that I had only changed my own Wi-Fi, that every other household's connection was perfectly fine, and that I had done nothing wrong. But she wasn't listening. Asterisk, instead, she picked up her phone, dialed 911, and reported an emergency. Yes, she claimed this was an actual emergency, deserving of police attention. Asterisk, the police arrived within minutes. 2 officers came to my door, professional and polite, though I could tell they were skeptical about the call they had just received. I explained the situation again. This was my home, my network, and I had done nothing illegal. I demonstrated the changes, showed how devices were working perfectly, and assured them that the neighborhood network had not been affected. Asterisk, the officers were patient. They asked questions, verified facts, and even spoke with other neighbors. Every single household reported no disruptions. There was no evidence of a network problem. The police realized that this was not a crime, not even a misdemeanor. This was simply a personal dispute exaggerated by a person obsessed with control. Asterisk, and then came the discovery. The police, as part of their routine investigation, examined the network activity. What they found was shocking to Karen and fascinating to the rest of us. Not only had my Wi-Fi change not disrupted anyone, but it turned out that her own devices were In her panic, she had misread the situation, assumed that every device in the neighborhood was affected, and called law enforcement over her misunderstanding. Asterisk, the absurdity of it was remarkable. A simple technical adjustment had escalated into a full-blown investigation, and yet it revealed something deeper about human behavior, the way perception can override reality, and how some people, when given even a small amount of authority or influence, can turn a trivial matter into a major crisis. Asterisk neighbors gathered, curious about the police presence. Some were confused, some amused. When the story was explained, laughter erupted. People joked about the idea that changing Wi-Fi could be considered criminal. They marveled at how seriously one person could take a situation, based entirely on her assumptions. Asterisk. The incident also sparked reflection on the nature of homeowners associations and community rules. HOAs exist to maintain standards, to ensure properties are cared for, and to foster harmony. But when the enforcement of rules becomes personal, when interpretation is subjective, the organization itself can become a source of stress rather than support. Asterisk, from my perspective, the experience was both frustrating and enlightening. Frustrating because my personal freedom in my own home was challenged unnecessarily. Enlightening because it highlighted the importance of perspective, communication, and calm reasoning. A simple act changing a Wi-Fi password had escalated into a dramatic lesson in patience and understanding. Asterisk, the police eventually left, satisfied that no crime had occurred. Karen was embarrassed, though she never admitted fault outright. Life returned to normal, but the story lived on, spreading through the neighborhood and later online, becoming a cautionary tale about overreaction, authority, and miscommunication. Asterisk, this incident reminds us that ordinary actions can provoke extraordinary reactions when they collide with ego, fear, and rigid thinking. What seems trivial to one person may be perceived as catastrophic by another. The key lesson is patience, clarity, and understanding that some conflicts arise simply from misunderstandings amplified by personal temperament. Asterisk, in the end, changing a Wi-Fi password became more than just a technical adjustment. It became a story about human behavior, authority, and the unexpected drama that can occur in even the calmest of neighborhoods. It showed how perception and assumption can create conflicts that never should have existed, and it left everyone involved with a story they would talk about for years, a story about control, misjudgment, and the surprising consequences of ordinary actions. Asterisk, no one expected the police. No one expected the discovery that nothing was wrong. No one expected a simple Wi-Fi change to become a lesson in patience, ego, and community dynamics. Asterisk, and yet here it is, a story about how small actions, taken in private, can ripple outward, creating chaos, reflection, and even humor. It is a reminder that life in any community is unpredictable, that human behavior can be extreme, and that sometimes the most ordinary decisions can turn into extraordinary stories. Asterisk, changing a Wi-Fi password might seem trivial, but in this story, it became an unforgettable moment, a tale of suburban absurdity, and a reminder that perception often matters more than reality.